In this video, we will show you how to mount the Rio racks and the other Dante devices onto the CL mixer. You can configure the Rio I/O racks onto the device mount in two ways, either by setup or I/O device button. In this video, I will be using the setup button to go to Dante setup. On Dante setup page, go to Device Mount tab. You may select it below the screen. On Device Mount page, the Rio 3224D is mounted by default on racks 1 and 2. The third rack is for DVS. You may continue using this configuration if you are just using 2 units of Rio 3224D. Otherwise, you may unmount these devices if you are trying to use the Rio 1608D or other routing devices like RI8, RO8, other CL series models, Dante MY16 Ordinate card, or other third-party Dante devices which is compatible with CL mixer. To unmount the Rio on the first rack, choose and touch the first rack. The LCD will proceed to Device Select page. On this page, you may choose the devices that you need to mount through the Supported Device tab or Online Device tab. But before you get to choose what devices you need to mount on to the racks, choose No Assign tab to remove the pre-assigned currently mounted device. Do the same procedure to unmount the other devices to racks 2 and 3 and the other racks. Now, to mount the Rio on the first and second rack, choose and touch the appropriate rack. The LCD will proceed to Device Select page. On this page, you may choose the devices that you need to mount through the Supported Device tab or Online Device tab. In this situation, I will use the Online Device tab. But before you proceed onto the Online Device tab, you need to hardware set the Rio I/O racks by rotating the rotary knobs to a specific ID number. And of course, be sure that you have cabled in the Rio I/O racks basing on daisy chain or redundancy setup, utilizing the primary and the secondary ports to network. The following slides will show you how to connect the devices into daisy chain or redundant mode. This is now a daisy chain mode. And this is a redundant mode. On the Rio I/O racks, please dip number 4 switch. After doing this, please do not forget to power on all devices. Now, to mount the Rio on the first and second rack, choose and touch the appropriate rack. The LCD will proceed to Device Select page. On this page, you may choose the devices that you need to mount through the Supported Device tab or Online Device tab. In this situation, I will use the Online Device tab. You may now go on a process of selecting the online devices to Online Device tab. Once all the Dante devices has been powered on and connected to the network either by daisy chain or redundancy mode, all Dante devices will appear at the Online Device list. That is where you are going to choose whatever device you want to mount first, second, and third, including the computer which is being represented by the Dante Virtual Sound Card or DVS. We will create another separate video on how to set up the DVS with the computer. Just treat the DVS as another interface like the Rio I/O racks. But please remember, whatever you mount on the first two racks on the CL mixer is the Dante interfaces which are compatible that will be bound for auto setup or auto configuration patch by the CL mixer later on. We will now continue mounting the first rack using the online device list. Starting from RIO ID1 with program device labeled as Y001. RIO ID2 as program device labeled Y002. RIO ID3 as program device labeled Y003. Select the RIO IO rack or any online device to be mounted on individually into the racks. After you have successfully mounted the RIO IO racks, you may now execute the auto configuration mode to patch randomly the RIO IO racks to individual channel strips of the CL mixer from channel strips 1 to 64, depending on the installed RIO IO racks or mounted devices to racks 1, 2, and 3. How to do this procedure? You need to select and touch I/O device on the LCD. In this page, locate the Dante patch on the selection above the screen. On Dante patch, look for Dante input patch. On this page, you may now select and execute the auto configuration mode. Also in this page, you may save the actual Dante configuration into its library. This will be important when you are about to set the CL mixer into virtual soundcheck mode or retrieving back the original Dante settings and RIO input and output patch settings. Saving the actual settings or configuration into the library is being done by selecting the Library button on this page. Choose the empty slots on the screen and save the actual patch setting for an easy recall when needed. Do this each time you have mounted a device onto the device mount page. Type the name using the screen keyboard and store. Please check the other videos for setup guides. Thank you.